This will be an interesting one. So this vehicle here, it's done almost 500,000 kilometers. I reckon it's sort of been to hell and back. I'm pretty sure it's one owner, and you know, it's just had all the usual kind of servicing and stuff you get going places, and usual unusual sort of repairs. And the situation it's in at the moment, sorry about the noise, we're in a workshop, so you get that, but the situation we're in at the moment, the turbo is noisy. It's got to whine at the turbo. We don't know that the injectors have ever been replaced, and to be quite honest, they do look very original. I've got to say, from my experience, tells me it looks very original. So the turbo has got a whine, quite a whine, so that'll probably be getting replaced. Now, when I say probably, this is what we're looking at. If you look down this side of the vehicle, it's in reasonable condition. Let's take a look inside. There's a bit of wear and tear going on. You can see what I mean. I said it's done a lot of Ks, right? Right, you can see it's done a lot of wear and tear. So when I say maybe, well, there's a lot of maybes, because when you've got the wear and tear, you've got to consider how much you spend on the vehicle, right? You know, a few bits and pieces missing here or there. You know, there's a whole story to it, but I just want to paint a picture for everyone, some considerations before you go and do some major work. So let's go around this side here. Got a few bits and pieces missing on this side, okay? And a little bit of damage, this sort of thing. So it's been, that's when I say to hell and back. Mechanically, we believe the engine, it still runs well, it's still drivable, the engine's still got good power. It's probably got good power because the injectors are flogged over, fueling their heads off, but just goes to show all these people, this is an old, you know, what year is this? Let me find, where's the plate? Show it for yourself, right? 09, 08, right? So it's a 12-year-old vehicle that's done nearly 500,000 Ks with everything standard, right? You can see people have been in there, look at those fuel pipes, right? Right? And no, it hasn't cracked the piston, so it's not crap pistons, right? Please understand, there's a whole misunderstanding, is the way I would describe it. Oh, it's the pistons, it's the pistons. No, if it was the pistons, you wouldn't have so many engines last this long. I heard of a guy that's got a mate a few weeks ago, someone was speaking to me and he said 1.2 million kilometers, okay? There's always a reason. It's well documented by the company we trust, and that is, right, Toyota. That's who we buy the cars. We own and drive their cars. That's who we trust. It's documented by them that injectors, wrong combustion caused by injectors is what cracks pistons. Now, just because they mentioned they're upgrading the pistons, making them stronger, more robust, doesn't mean there's a problem. Now, there's different people that take snippets of these documents and make their own document out of it. That's not necessarily accurate, okay? Not necessarily accurate. Now, so what's going to happen with this engine? It went from the usual mechanic that the owner sort of figured out that doesn't sound like he's too crash shot, knows what he's talking about, fair enough. Took it to a diesel specialist, who then proceeded to do a compression test, but only on 3 cylinders because he couldn't get the glow plug out. Because obviously he doesn't know, don't touch the glow plugs on these, because that's what's going to happen and you're going to end up in a world of pain and suffering. I just want to mention this has been cleaned up. This has been cleaned up, ready to be worked on. Okay, so they've gone ahead and done a compression test and found one of the cylinders has only got around 200 psi, and I think that was number 4 if I remember correctly, just going by memory. We'll have more information later in the video, but it runs really well, and we don't believe that information's accurate, and neither did the owner, and that's why he has contacted me. We've got the vehicle in, and the next step, we've done a few checks here and there. The next step is we're going to get, sorry about the noise, we're going to get the injectors out and do a compression test ourselves to confirm that everything's okay. So we believe it's okay. Now, depending what the results of that compression test, and that compression test will be done via the injector port. That's why we're creating minimal extra work, okay? So, bada bing, we're going to get this stripped down and get the injectors out and do a compression test, and we'll catch you then, and let's see what the results are. this diesel specialist that did the compression test said, okay, your engine stuff, you need another engine or a new engine, right? So that would be a very bad diagnosis to find out that that information was wrong. So let's see what happens. Sit tight. It's not looking as good as it did before, is it? We've got the pipes that have been butchered up by, is this the diesel specialist in Bendigo that did this, where the vehicle was taken to, or Castlemaine, somewhere up that way. Look at these pipes. Bada bing, making a bit extra work there. Number 3 pipe. Oh look, the insulation's been removed off between the manifold under the glow plugs there as well. Okay, interesting. I wonder if that... Anyway, we're going to strip this down and get a compression test happening. These pipes have been butchered by someone previously. We're going to do a quick bit of R&D and see if a pipe spanner works to undo that. I've got a feeling it's going to slip. Let's see. Go. Yeah, it slipped. And that's what we want to show you guys. That's why I've never used or recommended using a pipe spanner. Nothing's happening there whatsoever. Someone's previously butchered it. So you can cut the pipe and put a 17mm. Let's try this one, right? Let's just for R&T, research and tell you. Yep, that one worked, good. That one wasn't too butchered. This one's butchered as well. Let's see if it even fits on there. Because it's too butchered to fit on. So what I would normally do if I was going to waste time is, that's where you can hammer it on, but you got to line it up to hammer it on. Do you want to give it a little tap just for, yeah, like I said, it's already butchered. We're just going to show people what does and doesn't work. I would normally file to clean it up, then use the crow's foot's always worked for me. Some people cut the pipes, use a 6.17mm socket, because of course you're putting new injectors and pipes, right? I don't know if you can get in there. I'll try and get it out of the way so you can give it a bit of a butcherous tap to try and get it on. Yep, that's it. That's good. I can see that's all the way on. Now you need to get yourself in a position. I'm probably in your way again. Come around here and try and... Okay, you're going to put the bar over for a bit extra leverage. You've wiggled it now. It's going to... You have to get it nice and square again. Make sure it's all the way on. I don't think it's going to... Because the spanners, they open up a little bit. Oh, it worked. Nice. Okay, there you go. Anyway, guys, just wanted to show you that. New injectors, new pipes going in here, so don't worry. Most likely anyway. If not, we've got a spare set of pipes, spare set of recycled ones that are certainly going to be better than these if it ends up the compression fails and it goes back together. Just a quick view in the engine now that we've got the valve cover off. Not quite enough oil changes over the years. Needs some more oil changes, but not too bad. We've seen worse. Like things like green coolant. Who put the green coolant in? Oh, that's right. That's the mechanic that's been servicing the vehicle. Maybe same person put that auto cooler line that's meant to go straight down. They've jammed it into the plastic fan shroud there, where this coolant hose is meant to go. So the coolant hose is meant to go in there. This is meant to be just straight down here. There's another clamp. See down there, you can see the clamp hanging out the side. That's where the transmission lines are meant to be clamped, not in there. So people are working on cars that have got no idea. Not good enough, really. Workshops, pull up your socks, workshop managers, and make sure the people that are touching the client's cars know what they're doing, because this is just more butcherous stuff again. Somebody's had the one-way valve. Here's a little tech tip, right? So it doesn't point out that way, right? You take it off, right? It's always hard to take off when you put it on the wrong way, right? You can clean it out if you like, but see there's two ways it can go. See, it's on an angle, right? It faces... Is it that hard to do things the right way? You know, it's a one-way valve. It needs to be facing down, right? That's how it goes. Just do things the right way, not that hard. I wasn't going to whinge and complain too much on this vehicle because it's done nearly 500,000 Ks. But I'm just going to mention a couple other things like I normally do. You can see the wiring loom for the alternator. It's in the wrong spot. It's meant to be sort of coming up here, and what's happening is you can see it rubbing on the aircon pipe there, and what can happen, it can end up rubbing through as well. It's completely in the wrong position. people do simple things like replacing alternators or belts or whatever they've done, and they just have to stuff things up. As demonstrated in another video recently, these things, once they get 400,000 or 500,000 k's old, that one's not too bad actually. The other one, we'll check it out later. I thought that was a bit, yeah, it's not too good either though. Alright, injectors are coming out. We'll be doing a compression test shortly. There's lots of bits and pieces and nuts and bolts and clamps and things that are being previously broken on this vehicle. It's a matter of bringing it back from the dead. We'll just slowly fix it all up while we work on it. Right, so you can see 4 of our custom-made compression test tools have been placed in position. Of course, the injectors were removed, the ports were cleaned, the seats were removed. We do reuse, clean. We recycle one set of seats. They're like $6 each. We're not going to put a new set $24 each every time we install these units into an engine. Reuse them about 10 or 20 times. Does the job for a compression test. We're about to clamp those down to the standard torque setting. Actually, we're going to go to 20 Newton meters. We'll do for the compression test, and then we'll connect our 4 compression testers. Show you the compression test. So we've got our 4 custom made. Hey, guess what? They were made by Kaon as well. Kaon.com.au if you want a custom made compression tester to suit a diesel using a dummy injector that's like a Denso injector. So it'll generally, most of them are all about the same size. It's going to suit a lot of engines. You can check whatever's the same as a 1KD port. This is going to work, and they're going to work in a lot of other engines anyway. Yeah, some of those ends don't swivel too well, but you get that. So we're going to use 4 compression testers for efficiency and quality control, and we're going to take a look at those readings after cranking the engine over. And if there's any sort of doubt whatsoever, then we'll swap them over and take a second opinion, and we may do that anyway. So it's not imperative. The main thing is this engine's had a previous compression test, supposedly 200 psi on number 4 if I remember correctly. So here we are, we've got 1, 2, that one's around there, but anyway, 3, 4. They're all clipped and secured, so I believe it's probably a good time to crank over the engine, and we'll have a look and see what the readings are on the compression, and we'll be keenly looking at number 4. We'll take it off just in case. There's one on the intake as well. I was looking at that. I was about to yell out stop if it sucked it in, but it's alright. So that's all right. Crank it, mate. I'll yell out stop if there's a problem. Go for it. Do you want to pull the rag off that? It's not a, it's trying to suck it in. Alright, go again. Alright. Okay, as you can see, magically, number 4 cylinder's got 400 psi. 300. Look, guys, this car's done nearly 500,000 k's. You can see the maintenance on it is very average. This one's leaking down. That's just a bit of soot, so we're going to crank it again in a minute. But I'll just show you these, right? Over 400, over 400, and over 400. Now this engine, what an idiot! This is what annoys me. You know, this car, it's been to a diesel specialist, and I'll tell you what, we should name and shame, shouldn't we? Sorry guys, but look, we're trying not to do that. What all I keep saying is, I always say, please be very careful where you take your vehicle, right? We'll do a swap over because one of them's going to slow leak down, that's right. We'll leave these two as they are, they're good. You know, engines don't magically fix themselves. We had a suspicion, the owner had a suspicion it didn't seem right. He is so lucky he contacted me and we got the vehicle in, because from what he described, I was confident that this was not, you know, this is what was going to happen, okay? So, alright, so we've got them all safely connected again. Alright, let's crank it over again, please, mate. This one, look, it's still leaking down. I just want to show you. It did hit 400. It's just like all the others. These engines, they're allowed to have 70 psi difference, and I've never seen anything like it. And this is just, let's stop wasting our time on compression testing an engine and they brought the vehicle in with a noisy turbo, right? And the guy decides to do a compression test. Like, I don't know, did I miss the full story? If you're going to do a compression test, at least give someone accurate results, okay? Nothing wrong with this engine going by the compression test, okay? See this? It leaks down, don't worry about it. See, I've even got a mark on it for low. It gives a reading, it's a little bit lower than the others. Might be 10 psi or something. And when you get a bit of soot in your one-way valves, in your adapters and stuff, this is what happens. They can leak down slowly. It doesn't always happen, but you can see the other three of them, happy days. That one may have a slow leak down, but it doesn't matter. 380, 390, 400, a good engine. We see 410. These 1KDs are awesome. You can see not looked after. I can confirm it had the original injectors in it. Does anyone know how many Ks this has done exactly?
447.
447? I thought it was like 480 or something. Anyway, it's done over 400,000 with just your average servicing. These things, somebody says, how long is my engine going to last? If you do good servicing on these, they're going to last forever. 437. 437K, guys. The engine is good as new. So we're going to give it a good clean up. You want to clean up in this engine here? The way to do it is lots of oil changes. We recommend, like all cars, every 5,000 Ks, we're going to give the owner the good news and proceed to replace the injectors because they've never been done, and fix up everything else as we go, and it's going to need a new turbo. So maybe that's what you can expect out of a turbo, 400,000 or 500,000 Ks. Depending how you look after it with oil changes and letting it cool down, letting it idle after big runs, and a bit of luck maybe as well, whether you need to replace it earlier or whether it lasts longer. Bada bing, that might be it on this one. If it is, please remember to subscribe. Turn the bell on. The bell's next to the subscribe word to make sure you get that email, get that alert next time an awesome information video comes up. Just sharing the awesome, genuine information and reality of the things you see if you let your vehicle go to other workshops. Get yourself educated. Watch this information. We can't do them all. If you want them done, make contact with me in a text message, okay? Include your name, vehicle details, and what it's regarding. I'll help you out if I can. I'll direct you to someone that can help if I can, or we'll get you into the VIP group and educate you with the maximum information videos so you can get it done yourself. Thanks for watching, guys. See ya.